Hey, Lexi here. Back in high school, I had the big idea to create a new club. A creative writing and cartooning club for artists and writers to come together and make projects. To create together in teams. It was a big idea. It didn't turn out to be such a good idea. Or some bad luck interfered.
Oh, bad luck.
I remember being so excited about this. Everyone was excited about the club at first. I was able to get enough people to sign the sheet asking to make it a real club. And I drew flyers, posted around the school, so everyone who would be interested would know about it. Several of those ended up with graffiti on them, but I wasn't too surprised. I should have commented on the graffiti. You know, hi, clearly you like art. You should stop by.
Art.
Art it is.
My friends Taryn and Sandra walked into the club on the first day. When Taryn, for some reason, asked, "Who's gonna be the president?" Sandra and I were confused since the club was my idea, and I was doing all the work for it.
As club president, I have lots to do.
So Sandra said,
Well, Lexi would be the president.
Taryn, not satisfied with this, said, "Oh, who's going to be the vice president?" Seemingly trying to elect herself. I said something along the lines of, well, the vice president would also need to do some work, if we have one. And Taryn didn't want to do that. So, to end this, Sandra volunteered for the job.
Okay, I'll be the vice president.
Taryn skipped off, happy with that.
Skip to my loo.
Sandra told me.
I don't really want to be vice president. I just wanted to make her stop.
So that was a weird start to the club, but I chose not to worry about it at the time. On day one, the turnout wasn't so bad. All my friends showed up and they brought their friends, and a little handful of people came in response to the flyers. It seemed like an early success. Every week we'd meet up, and I had a new project planned. I'd get in front of the room, write up on the chalkboard, and turn around to explain it. And little to no one would hear me, because everyone was talking.
Sometimes they won't.
Sometimes they will. Sometimes they will.
On the one hand, that's great. You want people in the club to talk and get to know each other. Except no one was talking to new people, just to the friends they came in with. And from what I could tell, it was about nothing to do with art, the club, or creative writing.
No one cares!
It wasn't that big a deal at first, until I realized I was the only one coming to the club actually trying to draw or write. Everyone else seemed to be just hanging out at school, doing nothing to talk. At the front of the room, write it on the board, and I proceeded to it by myself.
Hello.
I was starting to feel like the second I walked in the club, I'd be wrapped in an invisibility cloak that would never come off.
I'm invisible.
I felt like no one could see or hear me.
Can anybody hear me?
Slowly, the number of people who showed up to the club went down. Anyone genuinely interested in doing things that I guess never heard me were feeling alienated too, and stopped coming. I would have joined them if it wasn't my club. Instead, I'd sit in front of the room, along with my backpack, my sketchbook, and my thoughts.
Making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
I'm not saying this was a particularly healthy way to handle this, but I did try on several occasions to get people interested in what I had planned for the day. But even when one or two people have shown interest, that would last all of 10 minutes before they broke off and talked to the microgroups about other things, leaving the projects to the wayside.
What about the project?
One day, I must tell my friend Sandra how upsetting this was to me. She didn't even know I had a problem until I said it. She went to the front of the room and got everyone's attention. She pointed to the board where I wrote the prompt idea, and she explained to the room what it was. My friend Joe, who was not as friendly as I like to remember him, snapped at Sandra, saying that was a dumb idea.
That sounds like a dumb idea.
Sandra gets close to his face and tells him,
It's Lexi's idea. It's not my idea. It's Lexi's idea.
Joe's jaw dropped before he immediately took out his notebook and started yelling for everyone to do the project. Hard to tell if he thought the idea was actually dumb, or if he only said it to be cruel to Sandra. It wouldn't be the first time, as it turns out. I never knew that until after high school.
Bad friend, bad friend, bad friend!
So for one day, everyone made an attempt at the project. It was an assignment for everyone to write part of a story, and pass it on until everyone contributed. It's called an exquisite corpse. I think everyone enjoyed it, but I honestly don't remember. Truth be told, I blocked out a lot of what happened in this club. Sai remembers something I don't, though. She told me recently there was one day I just left. I just realized I was alone and no one knew or cared that I was there, so I gathered my things and went home without telling anyone. Turns out, one of Sandra's friends was the only one to notice her first. She pointed at my empty chair and said to Sandra, "Hey, Lexi left."
She left. She couldn't have left.
Sandra whipped around and saw she was right. She yelled to Joe and our other friend Taryn.
Hey, Lexi left.
She swears Taryn just shrugged, as if to say, "So?" That got Sandra angry. She says,
No, like she went home.
Joe and Taryn exchanged a shocked and confused look and asked if that meant they had to go home too. Sandra said to them,
This is Lexi's club. Yes, we should all go home if she left.
Next day, Sandra found me in the halls and asked if I was okay after what happened. I gave her a little smile that very clearly told her things were not okay, and I said I was fine.
I know I'm smiling right now, but the light inside me is dying.
I never left one of the club days early again after that. But nothing changed. At the start of the next year, Taryn asked Sandra, "Are you coming to the club? You're coming, right?" Sandra, confused, asked,
Did you ask Lexi if she's even doing the club again this year?
Turns out she didn't even ask me until after that. "You're doing the club again this year, right?"
That is such a dumb idea.
I was confused, but I agreed to do it. I didn't even know she wanted to do it again. I think I only agreed to do it because I thought she meant she was interested in doing the projects now. So that year, only me, Joe, Taryn, and Sandra showed up, all year. And even with just the four of us there, it really never got any better.
It's working already. I'm so meaningless, I'm invisible.
Sandra said she wrote a poem once that year and showed it to me, but that had little to improve how I felt about the club by then. I think I mainly just felt used. I did all that work, and all anyone ever wanted was a place to hang out at school without getting into trouble. And a way to avoid going home. I guess I just wanted more from the Creative Writing Cartooning Club. Not a huge group of people, just a few creative minds coming together and motivating each other. And I think that's part of why I made this YouTube channel. I can't give you a room to sit in like before, but I can try to be the club president that I was trying to be before. Try to create things for people and maybe motivate and inspire you once in a while to create your own. So, if you want to join my new club, subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss one of my posts. And I'll know I'm not invisible anymore. You can also follow my antics on Twitter and Instagram at Lexi Conjures. Until then, join a club, don't ignore your friends, and always be creating. Bye guys.